Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be a first impression, a follow-up video. I do these a lot on Mondays on my channel. I'm going to be following up from my Charlotte Tilbury try-on haul. So I'd received a couple of products, a lot of products, from Charlotte Tilbury in PR, and I kind of hauled everything, and then I want to follow up on some of the products that I was testing out in that video. I have a primer, I have some brushes, I have an eyeshadow quad, I have a bunch of different lip products to talk about, and then also the highlighting palette that I'm going to share my thoughts on. So if you're ready for my reviews on some Charlotte Tilbury products, why don't we go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so I will have my first impression and also the haul video linked down below. I did receive some skincare in that haul, and I really do want to try that out. I haven't started it yet, and mostly a lot that's playing into it is that I've been saying this a lot, and I'm super sorry if you're annoyed by me saying this, but we do have our house on the market right now, so I have a bunch of stuff packed away, and I basically just have one skincare bag out at this moment, and that is what I'm using because I keep having to put it away and take it back out, put it away and take it back out. So I just have some of my, essentials in there right now. So it's going to be a little bit before I try the Charlotte Tilbury skincare. I'm really excited to try it out, but my reviews will have to come a little bit later down the road. But jumping into the products that I did try out in that video. So I tried out this primer here. This is the Wonder Glow Instant Soft Focus Beauty Flash. So it's a primer. It says turn around tired dull skin in a beauty flash. It's supposed to give the skin a luminosity. It's also supposed to have a soft focus spotlight effect. Can be used under, over, or instead of foundation. I love this. I love this, and I am super mad that I love this. Like, I don't want to love this, but I do. I put this in my recent makeup monthly for December of 2018, and I put it in my favorite section. It's so hard for me to recommend this and say how much I love it because it is a $55 primer. Charlotte Tilbury is more of a luxury brand. Her prices are very, very expensive on a lot of things. But $55 for a primer is definitely super pricey. I am hesitant to spend $50 for a foundation, but this primer is just beautiful. I've been trying it with so many different foundations, ones that I love, ones that I think are, just okay, and my skin looks beautiful every single time I use this primer, no matter what foundation I'm using this with. If you do not mind the higher prices, if you are more of a high-end luxury fan, I would definitely suggest that you try the Wonder Glow. If you are a little bit more, you look at the price tags a little bit more like I do, I would say maybe get it as a sale. Maybe ask for it as a gift, something like that. But I still honestly just really recommend this. I think that it is beautiful. A lot of times I go for no foundation looks. I'm planning to do like my 10-minute no foundation look coming up here, so stay tuned for that video, and you're gonna see me use this primer because I will just put this primer on, I'll put a little bit of concealer on, and then just some face products, and I think that my skin looks really, really nice. I can see myself using this alone, like in the summer when I don't wear as much, foundation, I don't wear as much coverage in the summers and that sort of thing, because this just does beautiful things for the skin. And I really like that it seems to give my skin just how, like it says, that luminosity, that glow, without being like too much. I do have dry skin, so I do want to make sure I say that, and especially right now, our temperatures are creeping towards the negatives. Ooh! Ooh, so this video is going up on Monday. This weekend, we are supposed to be in the negatives, which is very frightening. My skin is definitely very dry right now, and I just feel like this gives it such a boost, such a glow, and it looks beautiful. So I highly recommend the Wonder Glow foundation. It just does have a very high price tag, which is hard. Okay, and then next up, I also tried a brush set. So this was called the Magical Mini Brush Set. It's $65. I really like this cute, like sparkly case that it comes with. Inside the case, you have these mini brushes here. So you have kind of like a powder brush. I would say this is what I've been using as powder when I've been testing it out. You kind of have this larger blending brush here. You have more of like this is more of like a firm pencil brush, but kind of like a fatter pencil brush, and then you have like a smaller pencil brush as well. So I don't mind these brushes, but nothing about them really screamed like you must go out and grab this. Honestly, I like the case. Like, I would like to like carry this as my case, and be a little bit hard with the way the inside is set up and everything, but I like the case. The brushes don't really do much for me, and again, this is $65 for 4 very small brushes, and the brush selection is just kind of odd to me. Like, I don't mind having a small powder brush. It can be nice to throw in your purse. and that sort of thing. The blending brush is also nice, but like I don't really understand why we have two more of these pencil brushes versus like more of a flat shader brush. I don't know. Just the selection of brushes in here just was kind of odd to me. And again, these are nice brushes. I don't mind them, but really I don't see myself reaching for these a ton. It's not like a must-have for me. And again, it's $65. You can get a lot of single brushes for $65. You can get a lot of really nice, you know, travel sets, mini sets, regular sets from other brush brands. So I don't really recommend this one. It was fun to be able to try it out, but I just don't see myself really going for these a lot. I did recently post my favorite makeup brushes video, so if you want to check that out, I can leave it linked down below, and I have a lot of recommendations in there, but that's just a lot of money for 4 small brushes that, I don't know, I just think the selection was a little bit strange. So I would say that you could pass on that one. And then I also tried out, this is the Gold Bar Highlighting Palette. No, the Bar of Gold palette. There we go. Now this is a highlighting palette. Inside you have 3 different highlight shades, and then you do also have a mirror. This guy is $58, so that is definitely very pricey for a highlight palette. I really wanted to try out this palette for a long time, but definitely the price scared me off. I was just like, I don't know if I can spend that much on a highlighting palette. So I was really excited to be able to test this out. So inside you have more of like a yellowy highlight. You also have more of like a pinky rose gold, and then you have more of a gold as well. I do have this on my cheeks today. I'm wearing a lot of Charlotte Tilbury, the primer. I have the Magic foundation on, which isn't the best shade match for me right now, but I just thought I would do a lot of Charlotte Tilbury if I could. I have her powder on, all that good stuff, but I do have the highlighting palette on, and really I just kind of mixed all 3 shades together. It's kind of how I like to use this palette. The first shade, the yellowy shade, I don't feel like this shows up the best on me, so automatically I like to mix it in with something. This middle one, the more pinky one, is my favorite. If you guys follow my channel, that's probably not a shock because I do love pinky highlights. The gold, I was a little bit worried that it would be too much for my skin, but if I mix it, especially with the other 3, but even if I mix it with just any of the other ones, I think that it still looks really nice on my skin. And again, it's kind of built into the highlight that I have on today. Now, I like this palette. I like this palette a lot. I can see myself reaching for it, but it's not something that it's not like an absolute tippy top fave of mine. And it's $58. So again, that's very pricey. For the price tag, I don't feel super, like, I'm not trying to tell you guys to go run out and get it. It could be nice to receive as a gift. Maybe you got a gift card, you know, something like that. But to me, it's not like an absolute standout product for me. Again, I like it. I think that looks really beautiful. I will say that I have to build it up. You know, I really mix the shades together. I really build it up on my face. I come in 3, even 4 times. And I have a lot of highlighters that, you know, are less expensive, but I get that blinding effect right away. I don't have to work super hard for them. I do like that you get 3 for the $58. That's nice, but you know, you can kind of think, do you really want all 3? Do you need all 3? Can you spend $20 and get one that you're just gonna love that one shade? Or would you prefer getting 3 for the $58 and kind of getting more bang for your buck? Totally personal preference for you. I'll say that I like it, and I think that it's a nice highlighting palette. It's not a favorite. I see myself reaching for it and wearing it a bunch, but if I were to have spent the $58, I try to look at it this way, no matter if I receive something in PR or not. If I would have spent $58 on this palette for myself, I think I would have been a little bit let down, to be honest. I think that I would have wanted something just a little bit more, maybe a little bit quicker to use and that sort of thing. But at the same time, I'm not trying to say like that it's absolutely terrible, because it's not. It's just, you know, I don't know. I can't help it. I think about the price a lot. I think about the price of makeup a lot because, I mean, I definitely love makeup. I spend a lot of money on makeup too, so I just really try to factor that in when I'm giving my reviews. So the next thing, I have an eyeshadow quad here. This is the Supersonic Girl Luxury Palette of Pops eyeshadow quad here. So this is $53, so you have a mirror and then you have 4 different shades inside. Now, I'm a bit disappointed by this palette. I do have it on my eyes today. I have this red shade on the inner and outer corner, and I have this lighter shade on the center of my eyes. And then I do also have these 2 shades blended out on my lower lash line as well. So I recently posted a video reviewing 10 different eyeshadow palettes, and I also ranked them from 10 down to 1. And this was actually what I put in the number 10 spot, which was a little bit surprising to me. I put in a lot of different factors for how I was reviewing them. Here are the swatches from the palette right here next to the highlights. So those are the swatches from the palette. Like I said, I put it in at number 10. You know, it's only 4 shades and it's $53, so that's very pricey. You know, I was kind of reviewing a pretty wide majority of eyeshadow palettes in there, but I just am not super inspired by this palette. I haven't really wanted to reach into it a lot. I've kind of been having to force myself because I knew that I had to do this follow-up video and I wanted to be able to review it and get a couple different looks with it. I think it's fine. Like, once I put it on my eyes, I like my eye looks. So there's that, but again, I don't feel super inspired. Everything is very shimmery. I feel like I don't really get total complete looks out of it unless I'm doing something more of like a halo eye, but then it's like, how many halo eyes can I really do? You know, so again, once I have the looks done, I think that they look pretty, but I just don't really feel the need to reach into this palette a ton. I don't feel like any of the shades in here are super unique. You know, I also reviewed a Pat McGrath palette in that review video, and there are some shades in that palette that I just feel like are more unique that I don't have in my collection. So even though it's a higher price tag, I still ranked that one closer. It was more towards the middle because again, 53, 4 shades, nothing super unique about this palette. Again, I think the looks are pretty in the end, and I like what we have going on. So I'm not trying to say like it's absolute terrible quality, because I also don't believe that. I don't think that you would be wasting your money, but I just, again, I don't feel like people need to run out and go grab this one and it's something that you must have. I'm not a huge eyeshadow quad type of girl. I do like smaller eyeshadow palettes, you know, 6 and 10 shades and 12 shades and all of that. 4 sometimes is a little bit too limiting to me, but even for this one, even if I'm thinking like travel bag or a quick makeup look, I don't feel that I get these vibes with this palette with the color scheme inside. You do also want to spray your brush with all of these shades. I'd get some fallout, and all of them really benefit to really bring out the color or bring out the shimmers with a damp brush. And you know, I have some affordable palettes or drugstore palettes that I don't need to spray my brush with, and the colors pop just fine on my eyes. And this one, I would recommend spraying your brush using all 4 shades. So you know, not a favorite. I'm glad that I was able to test it out. I hear a lot of people talk about these palettes. I hear some good things, I hear some not so good things. I kind of like fall in the middle there, but I just think for the price tag that it's not necessarily really worth it. And I think that there's some better eyeshadows out there. And then finally, I'm going to finish it off with some lip products. So I have 3 different formulas here to chat about. For the first ones, I have 2 different ones here. These are the new like they don't say it on here, which drives me crazy, like the Supersonic lip glosses or something like that. I will have everything linked down below, of course. I'm just going to touch briefly on these because I did actually mention these in my most recent lip picks video. I do a series on my channel every single month where I look back at I look back at all of the different lip products, lip combinations that I wore in the prior month. I pick out my top 5, and then I also pick out my bottom 5. I actually featured these in the bottom 5. They're more of the gloss formula, which I don't totally prefer for myself. I also didn't really, like, I wasn't blown away by either of the colors. The one in Happy Lips is a little bit more coral, and I don't wear these kind of tones a ton, especially right now. I don't see myself wearing that one a ton. The other one is in Sexy Lips, and I like this color a bit more. They feel really comfortable on the lips, and you know, when I talk about my bottom 5 for the lip picks, it doesn't necessarily mean that I hate the products or, you know, absolutely wouldn't recommend them. I'm just picking top 5, bottom 5 out of everything that I have to work with. So I don't think that these are awful, and I think that if you like lip glosses and it's, you know, one of your go-tos, I think that you could like these. These are $34, so again, that is pretty pricey. So we have Happy Lips here, and then we have Sexy Lips. Again, I would prefer Sexy Lips for myself personally, and they're not like sticky. They're not the most hydrating lip gloss I've ever tried, but they feel nice and smooth on the lips, so I don't mind that. Again, it's just more of like a personal preference thing, and there was just other products that I tried in December that I liked more and that I would put in the top 5, so I don't mind them. I do like the packaging on them. They're nice and sleek and everything. I just don't see myself reaching for these a ton, but if you are a lip gloss fan, again, I think that you could like these just fine. For me, they were just okay though. So those are, I looked them up, those are the Superstar lips. Superstar lips. So in there I got the Hollywood lips. Now she sent a set that had 2 minis, but I actually owned one of the minis already that came in that set, and these are $34 for the full size of it. So I'll talk about both. I have Too Bad I'm Bad. I purchased this myself, and then Showgirl is one of the 2 shades that came in that little set there. So I'll do a swatch of each. So this first one here is in Too Bad I'm Bad, which is kind of more of this pinky rosy color right here. Too Bad I'm Bad. And then the other one is in Showgirl, which I did mention Showgirl in my bottom 5 as well. This one is more on like the deeper rosy side. I do actually like the Showgirl color just a little bit more. So that one is a Showgirl in the Hollywood lips. So like I said, I also mentioned it was a Showgirl because that's what I was wearing in December. I mentioned this in the bottom 5 of my category. I had actually reviewed Too Bad I'm Bad in a makeup monthly in the past, and I put it in the fine category. So again, I don't think that these are like completely awful lipsticks, but they're not a personal favorite of mine. The applicator I don't love on these. I kind of wondered like if something was wrong with this applicator when I first got this, but the other one is the same. So the applicator isn't my absolute favorite, and I also don't feel like you can get a lot of product on here, so I have to dip in to keep, you know, applying it to my lips. The formula is more on the dry side. I generally don't mind a drier liquid lipstick because I prefer having something that's going to stay on, but this is more of that dry, like crumbly effect. After, you know, a couple hours of wear, it starts to look a little bit more crumbly on the lips, especially the center part. The middle of my lips is really starting to wear away, and it's not the most comfortable liquid lipstick formula ever. I don't mind it, I don't hate it, but I wouldn't suggest paying $34 for the full size liquid lipstick. I just think that that's a lot, and I think that there are better formulas out there. So I don't mind either of the shades. Showgirl would definitely be my preference, but the Hollywood lips, again, just okay for me, not something that I see being a favorite of mine. And then I also did want to sneak in a review of Pillowtalk. I did a recent Sephora haul update video because I always update on my hauls as well, let you guys know how I'm feeling about the products. And someone commented there and said, you forgot to review the Charlotte Tilbury Pillowtalk. And I was like, oh my gosh, I went back and looked at the video and I was like, I totally did, because I picked this up from Sephora. I did purchase this one myself. I did pick this one up from Sephora, and I think it's because I had put this in a lip picks video that in my mind I was like, I've already reviewed it, so I just kind of passed over it and I was like, grr. But I knew this, you know, kind of Charlotte Tilbury video was coming up, so I thought that I would just touch on this briefly. So like I said, I did mention it in the lip picks video in my top 5, and I love Pillowtalk. It's what I have on today. I love the shade. It's a beautiful pinky nude. I think it's gorgeous. This is the Matte Revolution lipstick formula, I believe it is. These are $34. That is very pricey for a lipstick, but honestly, I love this. I love this one. I have purchased Kim KW in the past as well from Charlotte Tilbury. That's a different style lipstick. Charlotte Tilbury's got a lot of lipsticks going on. It's more of like the bullet lipstick as well, but I didn't like that one. I didn't like the shade, but I also didn't like the formula. I didn't think it was really like adhering to my lips. It wore off very quickly. This I think is absolutely beautiful. Again, I do love the shade, but I also really like how well it applies. It's, you know, it's very creamy on the lips, but it also stays for a very long time. I'm super impressed at the wear time on this. Of course, it's gonna fade more quicker than a liquid lipstick, but you know, it's super easy to reapply because it is more of the bullet lipstick. But I do think the wear time is really nice on this. I have thrown this in my purse so many times when going out with friends, and really I love the feeling of like not having to feel like I need to worry or touch up my lipstick. And there's been times where I've gone the entire night not touching up my lipstick, and sure, it's, you know, a little bit worn away in the center, but especially because of this shade, I mean, it's just like, do one of those and I feel like your lipstick's coming back and it's going to be fine. So I actually love this lipstick. I would highly recommend Pillowtalk. I know this is such a talked about shade. I mean, really anything Pillowtalk from Charlotte Tilbury is, but I know a lot of people really say good things about this lipstick and I love it. So I thought that I would mention that in this video as well. So overall, kind of my thoughts on Charlotte Tilbury, being able to try a few more products from the brand. I feel like this is a brand where I find products that I really, really love or just think are okay. There's not a ton that I've tried from the brand that I'm like, no, absolutely not, wouldn't recommend. The Kim KW, yes, but that's kind of where I fall. So I either love a product or I just can't recommend it mostly because of the price tag, because they're such higher priced. And you know, it's kind of a hard thing to say that, because what's expensive to someone, what's higher priced to someone means totally different things. I used to work as a travel agent. One of the very first things any client would tell me is, I want to go here, but I don't want to spend too much. And I would have to say, what does that mean to you? Because I have no idea what that means. You know, everyone is so different when it comes to that. But, you know, these are more of the luxury prices, and just not everything I feel really warrants that. But then there are some products that I really do feel like warrants that price tag. So that's kind of what I think about Charlotte Tilbury. Those are some of the reviews on the products that I've been able to test out recently. I hope that you found this video helpful. I would love to know, you know, any thoughts that you might have down below. What have you tried from the brand that you absolutely love? You know, what are you not feeling so much? I would really enjoy to know. If you'd like to see kind of like a top 5, bottom 5 of Charlotte Tilbury in the future from me, maybe after I've tried a few more products too, I could maybe do a top 5, bottom 5. I do like doing those on my channel. Let me know if you'd like to see that one focused on Charlotte Tilbury as a brand. But other than that, that's gonna wrap it up for this first impression review video. If you guys did enjoy it, I hope that you'll give this one a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.